Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. Today we will explain how to use Modena Hub in a very simple environment in another room like this one, and how to connect a simple audio video solution for your UC call in the other room. My name is Mauro Barbieri. I'm field sales engineer at Biamp. And before starting, one very important information, we have a PDF about the slides that we will see today on the material repository of GoToWebinar. So if you want, you can download that PDF with all the slides and some useful link that I'm going to refer later on during the presentation. But let's start having a look at the agenda for today. So I'm going to present to you the Modena Hub product and to introduce the most important features of Modena, of course, related to the purpose of today, that is show how to create a very easy outdoor space using Modena and a simple audio video equipment. Then I will explain the device that we are using in our other room setup, and I'm going to connect all the system. And very important, I will show how to connect to the internal configuration panel of Modena Hub, and to double check if networking is working properly and if the connection to the USB peripherals is working in the right way. Then once everything will be connected, the only part missing is the software. So the Modena software, where to find it, how to use it, and how to use for a presentation session, but even more important, how to use for a wireless call. So a UC call with the audio video equipment of the room without connecting any cable. Some additional information and at the end, we will have the usual Q&A session. The webinar will last around 30 minutes, and at the end we will have plenty of time for the Q&A session. But now let's start with the introduction of the product. So a few slides about the Modena Hub product. What is Modena Hub? Modena Hub is an innovative wireless presentation system, a new generation wireless presentation system able to turn any space into a meeting or presentation space. And very important, the core of the today presentation is to show how it's possible to connect our laptop in a other space to the audio video equipment of the room without any cable. So Modena is able to do this wireless connection to the camera, microphone, and speaker installed in the other space. And then, very important, Modena is providing a device-to-device collaboration tool, and every participant can connect the personal device, a tablet or a smartphone or a laptop, for receiving the presentation on the personal device for a much better comfort during the presentation, and for sending the presentation from the personal device. So anyone can participate to the meeting, sending and receive documents like in a natural conversation. And this helps to raise the engagement of the whole team during the meeting. This flexible solution is able to fit many different use cases and configuration. And at the core of the Modena Hub feature, we have what we call device to display presentation. So the possibility to send content from your laptop to the room display in your other space without using cables, dongles, or any adapters. So just thanks to the connection to the Wi-Fi. And in this way, you can collaborate safely without touching anything, just your personal device, and you can send and receive content and the presentation. So it's a very comfortable wireless presentation system. And the second important feature provided by Modena Hub is the wireless USB. In other words, the possibility to run a UC call without connecting any cable, but using the very good equipment of the other space. So the camera, microphone, and speaker installed in the other space. You can use it from your laptop without the need to connect any single HDMI or USB cable. And this concept is completely new, and it's something different compared to the usual room system concept, or is more advanced than using your laptop equipment for a call together with your colleagues. In this way, you can use your laptop, your data, and keep your workflow and your favorite UC platforms offered by your laptop, but using the equipment of the room. So professional audio video equipment from your personal device without any cable. So all you need to do is to get into the meeting space, open your laptop, start your favorite UC platform, any, and select the room peripherals, so the camera, microphone, and speaker installed in the room, and you can start your call. So very easy, completely agnostic. You have a very long list of compatible USB devices, from the all-in-one audio video soundbar, PTZ, webcam, speakerphone, so many USB devices and you can find the list on the Biamp website. And at the same time, you can use this system on many different UC platforms. So starting from the most popular, Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, WebEx, but many other. And even in this case, you can find the list on the Biamp website. And how this is working, thanks to the Modena driver. In the center of the Modena system, we have this Modena driver, a piece of software that is connecting, like an interface, your laptop to the audio-video peripherals connected to the Modena hub. So this software is allowing you to select the Modena camera, Modena speaker, Modena microphone on your UC platform, but without connecting any cable, because all the transmission works over the Wi-Fi. And so this is very important. Modena system offers to you two different user interface, two different possibilities. Modena app on one side, available on every operative system, so from Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. In this case, when you install the Modena app, as we will see later, you can use the integrated Modena driver. On the other side, if you don't want to use the Modena app, you can use a browser. Any WebRTC browser like Chrome, Firefox, or Edge can be used to connect to Modena and start the presentation session. In that case, if you prefer to use the browser, a client-less solution, and you still want to use the peripherals connected into the room, you need to install a separate version of the driver, what we call browser support driver package. So a standalone version of the same driver that you can find inside the Modena app. But let's start with the system that we have today. So in this example of other room, we of course have a display, and we have a laptop that we will use for sending a presentation and also for our UC call. And of course, we have the Modena Hub. In this case, this is the Modena Hub Plus, so the version with the integrated access point. And on the back panel, we have all the ports required for this connection. So we have the Ethernet port, and in this way, using this port and an Ethernet cable, we can connect the unit to the company network for providing internet access and providing the possibility to connect to the configuration panel. Then we have the USB port for the connection with the audio-video peripheral, in this case, an all-in-one camera, HDMI port for the connection to the display, for sending the content to the display, and the power plug, of course. And And today we will show how to create this other room with Modena and an all-in-one camera. This all-in-one camera has, of course, the camera, but also microphone and speakers integrated. So one single cable, one single device for equip the entire other space. I already prepared the cables. So I have here the USB cable and the power plug for the camera that I'm going to connect. So I'm going to connect the USB-C cable to the camera and the power plug. And also, I have the cables for the connection of Modena. So I start connecting the Ethernet cable, then the USB, that is the USB cable coming from the Logitech Meetup in this case, HDMI cable for the connection with the display, and the power plug. So connection is very easy, something that you can do in a few seconds. When you start up the system, Modena Hub will connect to the Biamp repository for checking if a firmware update is available. So this is the first action performed by Modena Hub when you turn it on. And this is by default the automatic update. So every time that you boot the system, Modena look for a firmware, for a new firmware. In case a new firmware is available, Modena automatically download the firmware and install it. This is not the only possibility. You can select the manual update, so you can do at your own convenience. You can download the file from the Biamp repository and manually upload the file, or you can enable the scheduler. There is an internal scheduler, and you can check for update and install the update during the night, in the weekend, once in a month, with the time that you prefer. But now I switch the display to the other HDMI port. This is the button, okay, where we have the Modena Hub Plus that should be ready. Yes, it's ready. And the Modena Hub Plus is now showing what we call the welcome page. So it's the splash screen that can be completely customized from the customer. So you can change the background, you can change the logo. Every single graphical detail appearing on the welcome screen can be customized. And we have very important information on the welcome screen offered to the user, to the participant of the meeting. First of all, on the left corner, we have the IP address of the unit. So the IP address that you can use when you connect to the Modena Hub Plus with a browser for accessing the internal web server with the configuration page, presentation page, and so on. We are using an IP address, but if you have a DNS server in your company, you can replace the IP address with a better label, so something very useful for your user of the meeting room. On the top right corner, we have the name of the room, very important for the connection. You always need to know what is the name of the room, and the passcode. It's not possible to join a meeting if you don't know the passcode, and the passcode is available inside the meeting room. So the participant can look at the welcome screen and use the passcode for joining the meeting. This is very important and can be customized. Even the privacy protection for your meeting, you can remove the protection, or you can customize exactly the mechanic for the protection of the meeting room. But now switch to my laptop desktop, and I start a browser. In this case, I'm using Chrome, and I'm connecting to the Modena Hub unit using the IP address that is on the welcome screen. So in this way, I'm connecting my my browser to the home page of the Modena Hub Plus. And since I'm looking for the configuration page just for checking if every connection were done properly, I'm going to click on the three dots on the top right corner, and a small menu appears, and I'm going to select admin. A password is required for accessing the admin page, and this that you can see now is the administration console, where I can change all the configuration of the unit. So I can change the unit name, the room name, I can customize the welcome screen, and I can customize the network configuration. So there's plenty of possibility for fine-tuning the configuration. But first of all, we will start from the network section. In the network section, I can change the network configuration. So DHCP or static IP, I can change the wireless integrated access point configuration, because in this case, I'm using the Modena Hub Plus. But very important for this presentation is the check network connection button. With this button, I can check if the cable that I connected is working in the way that I'm expected. So if that cable is providing internet connection, is providing a connection to the DNS, to the update server, so the Biamp repository, the connection to the weather widget, that is an element that we can enable on the welcome screen, and at the end, connection to the NTP server that is providing the internal clock and the right clock for the welcome page. So in this case, I can see that the cable is working, so the unit is properly connected to internet, and so we can go on to the next step. And the next step is on the USB page. As you can see, the unit automatically recognized the connection to the Logitech Meetup, so the all-in-one camera that I was showing before, and the unit is selecting the Logitech Meetup camera, the Logitech Meetup microphone, and Logitech Meetup speaker. Everything was automatically selected. And very important is that close to every section, I have a test button. Test button helps me to understand if the camera is working, if the microphone and the speaker are working as well. So I can click on test camera. And in this way, as you can see, I'm checking if the camera is working. And this preview tells me that the camera is properly connected to the Modena unit. So I can close it and I can switch to the test microphone. The test microphone button allows me to record a short message, test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3, test 1, 2, 3. In this way, the unit is saving a small file recorded from the microphone of the camera. So I can play back. The test microphone button allows me to record a short message. This is the message I recorded before. So even the microphone is working, and at the end, I can test the speaker. When I click on test speaker button, Modena is sending a sound to the speaker, just telling me that everything is working properly. So at this stage, I tested the network connection that is working in the right way. I tested the USB connection to the peripheral that I installed in this other room. It is working in the right way, so I'm ready for the next step. In the next step, I'm going to show you where to find the Modena software that I'm going to use for sending the presentation and for the UC call. So where to find it and how to use it. So the Modena software is available in two places. One is the Biamp website. From the Biamp website, you can download all the Modena software required by Windows, Mac, the drivers, and so on. But very important, you can download the Modena software from the internal repository of the unit. So you don't need to navigate on the internet, but you can very quickly download the Modena app from the unit itself. How to do it? Very easy. Just as we saw before, connect your browser to the IP address that you can see on the welcome screen, and now we switch to my desktop, and I can show you how to download the unit from the internal repository. So on the top right corner, you have the three dots menu that we saw before. The first entry is download app. Very easy. In this way, you can have a view of the internal repository, and from here, we can download the Windows app, the Mac app, or in case we connect with the mobile device, a smartphone or a tablet, we can download the Android app from Google Play Store. Here we have the link. Or in case we have an iOS device, we can download the iOS app from the Apple App Store. Very easy. Before, I was telling you that we offer the possibility to connect to the Modena system and to perform the wireless presentation and the wireless meeting using two different possible interfaces. So one is the Modena app and the other is the browser. In case you use the Modena app, everything is embedded. So even the driver for using the remote peripheral is embedded into the app. But if you prefer to use the browser for sending your presentation, for example, for using the remote peripherals, you need a separated version of the driver. And here, this Windows Browser Support Driver Package or Mac Browser Support Driver Package is a piece of software that you need for using the wireless camera from your browser. Very good. So in my case, I already have the app installed. I have it in the tray area. Is this icon, this 9 dots icon. And when I click on the icon, a small window appears with the list of the room available on my network. So in the network here, we have some Modena Hub unit, Modena Hub Plus unit, and some Modena server. And when I click on the app, I have the list of the available rooms in the network. In this case, I need to connect to the Biamp office room. That is my favorite room and is on the top of the list. So to connect to the room, the only thing that I need to do is to select the room with a single click, type the passcode that is protecting the meeting, 6603. Passcode is changing at every new session, so is generated on the fly by the unit at every new session. In this case, you can see that on the welcome screen, the counter of the participant is saying that there is one participant connected, and the toolbar of the Modena app changed, and now it's showing me the name of the room I'm connected to, the passcode, and is showing me a button. And at the same time, the icon of the Modena app turns blue from the gray color before. So this is telling that I'm connecting, I created a new session and I'm connected to the room. So the only remaining thing to do is to click on play. And in this way, I'm sending my desktop to the room display. And at this stage, I can open a document, for example, a PowerPoint or a PDF, and start sending content to the room display. But the purpose for the meeting today is to show how to perform a wireless call. So what I'm going to do is, at this point, start a new C platform. In my case, the example for today is Zoom. So I'm starting Zoom. And in the Zoom preference, I will configure the Modena camera, Modena microphone, and Modena speaker. So in the workflow, the first thing to do is to select the Modena camera, speaker, and microphone. So I'm going to select the settings, the Zoom settings. And in the video section of the Zoom settings, I'm changing the camera from the integrated camera of the laptop to the Modena camera that we saw before in the preview. So now Zoom is using the camera over the Wi-Fi. Same thing with the audio. So in the audio section, I'm going to change the speaker to the Modena speaker, and I'm changing the microphone from the integrated microphone to the Modena microphone. So in this way, I prepared Zoom for using the peripherals connected to Modena. And so now I'm ready for starting the call. And what I'm going to do is to call my colleague Ian that is waiting for me in a Zoom room. So just typing the number of the room, and I'm starting the Zoom call using the Modena peripherals. Hello, Ian. How are you?
Okay.
Yes, everything is fine.
Thanks. I can see your office very well. I can see you. I can hear you fine. So yeah, it looks like a good connection to me.
Thank you for helping me during this presentation. So as you can see, in this moment, I'm connecting with Ian over Zoom using the camera, microphone, and speaker connected over the Wi-Fi to Modena Hub. And I'm using everything from my laptop without the need to connect any USB cable directly to the unit. So very easy and very comfortable. So thank you, Ian, for this great help during the presentation. See you later for the Q&A version. So what we saw, how to connect a very simple all-in-one camera to the Modena unit, how to double check the connection, the network connection and the USB connection. So how to check if everything was wired in the right way, where to find the Modena software for using the system and how to use it for sending a presentation to the room display like I'm doing now, and finally how to start a UC platform, selecting the Modena camera, Modena microphone, Modena speaker in the peripheral settings, and for having a wireless meeting. So this is, again, very easy. So now some additional information. As I said before, Modena system is offering two ways, two user interface possibility: the Modena app and the browser. So in case you prefer to use a WebRTC browser, you can start the browser, connect to the IP address of the unit, select the room and click on play. And at that point, you will start sending content to the room display. And while you are sending content to the room display, you can start a new C platform, select the Modena AV peripheral and start the call. If you use the Modena app, the software interface that connects your laptop to the AV peripheral is embedded in the app. If you use the browser, you need to install the driver. So the driver that is a standalone version, what we call browser support driver package. Another very important information about the Modena system: in case you have many Modena Hub and Hub Plus installed in your network and you want to simplify the configuration of your Modena fleet, Modena Server, the third product in the product line, is helping you. So we have three products in the Modena product line: the Modena Hub, the Modena Hub Plus, and the difference from Modena Hub and Hub Plus is that the Hub Plus has integrated access point, mainly for offering a guest access to your suppliers or customers coming into the meeting space. The third product in the Modena product line is the Modena Server. Modena Server integrates the management system, and using this interface, you can subscribe all your Modena Hub units available in the network to a single management system and control all the monitoring of the Modena Hub from a single point, do the configuration of every unit from a single point. So you have this centralized configuration. You can also keep updated all your unit with a centralized strategy and reboot the unit if you need. So instead of connecting unit by unit and configure the unit one by one, you can connect all your Modena Hub and Hub Plus to the Modena Server and use a single point, a single entry for the whole fleet configuration. I said that there's a long list of USB devices that can be used together with Modena for creating your other space. Of course, we can use the Biamp conference solutions as well. So Modena can be used with the Davio SCR 2025, with the new Davio SCX, the T0 Forte and the new T0 Forte X. So all the Biamp conference solutions can be used together with Modena for creating a wireless meeting environment. And in case you want some more information about the Davio SCX, there's a very interesting webinar recording available on YouTube, and you can find the link if you download the PDF in the documents section of GoToWebinar. So looking at this webinar recording, you can learn something more about the new Davio SCX platform that, of course, can be used together with Modena. And on internet, of course, you can go on the Biamp.com website for having more information about the Biamp catalog and the Modena product line. And all the technical information about the Biamp products and the Modena product line are available on the Cornerstone website, that is support.biamp.com, where you can find all the technical articles from deployment to configuration, about how to use the software, and also the software itself is available on Cornerstone. So these two very important resources for learning more about the Biamp products and for getting technical information. Now we are at the end of the webinar, and I'm ready for your question. My colleague Ian is helping me in this session, so feel free to place your question in the question section of GoToWebinar, and I'm very pleased to give you all the information that you need. So Ian, is there any question?
Yeah, Mauro, thanks very much for the great presentation again. There's one question so far from Carl, so I'd encourage everybody to get their questions in if they have them. The question from Carl is, if you disconnect from the room, does the Modena driver also be removed from Zoom? So does Zoom automatically take back the laptop camera and the microphone by itself?
Very good question. Very good question. I can answer starting from what is happening when you connect a USB device with the cable. So when you connect a USB device with the cable to your laptop, the laptop is recognizing the new device, and some software is selecting this new device as the new default because it's just connected, and we remove this device from the device list whenever you disconnect the cable. So when you connect the camera starts to be available. When you remove the plug, the camera stops to be available. It's no more in the list of device. With Modena, you install the driver is always there, always in the list. So for this reason, you need to manually select the Modena camera, Modena microphone, and Modena speaker when you need to use it. And after your call, if you want to use a different device, for example, the embedded camera, embedded microphone or speaker of the laptop, you need to manually switch to the embedded device. So in other words, the workflow is start the UC client, select the Modena peripherals, do the call, and if you, for example, go back in your office and use the same laptop for a call using a different peripheral, the embedded camera, microphone, and speaker, you need to start the UC client, select the embedded devices, and start the call. So you have to manually select Modena and revert to previous selection.
Great. Thanks for the explanation, Mauro. That's great. At the moment, there's no other questions, so we'll give people another couple of minutes. Maybe if you start the wrap up, and if there's any questions come, I'll let you know.
Yes. So I thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. and I hope that you appreciate the simplicity to build another room using Modena and a solution like the all-in-one camera that I was using today. And if there are no more questions, I wish you a great day, and I hope to see you soon on the next webinar.